There he is, Josh Emmett in the house. Josh, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
And I apologize for making you wait. Cody was on a bit of a time crunch, came all the way from the airport, so we had to make the call there. But it's a teammate, so I'm sure you're not too upset, right?
Yeah, not at all. It's all right.
Uh, okay, cool. So yeah, like I said, I was thinking of you, and I'd been meaning to reach out to you for quite some time. And I'm happy that we were able to connect. And I was just kind of blown away by everything that you've been through. So could you tell us? Could you bring everyone up to speed? Because I haven't heard much from you, since that week. And you were on the show talking about the injuries. You're in Orlando. You believe that you suffered a broken orbital. You go back home, and what have you been through since then?
Yeah, so it's man, it's been a tough little journey. But like I said when I talked to you before, when I was in Orlando, I was all doped up on pain pills and stuff like that. And I know I came on the show right after I got out of the hospital. And the actual hospital in Orlando, I don't know, not misdiagnosed me, but they didn't catch a lot of things. They just said I had a tripod fracture. So I assumed that was it. So I went home, and then I think it was like the second day I was home in Sacramento. I was on all the pain pills and stuff still. And my wife, she knew just something was wrong. She was asking me how I felt. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. But for some odd reason, she decided to take me to the emergency room. She talked to my friend, doctor, and nutritionist, and kind of told him some of the things I was going through. So he said, yeah, take him to the hospital. So I went to the ER in Sacramento, and they did another CT scan because the Orlando Regional Hospital would not send the CT scanner report to them or to my doctor. Real odd. And so they did the scan, and they admitted me right away, and they said I needed emergency surgery. So they took me in an ambulance to another hospital to perform the surgery. So I had my lateral orbital was fractured, my orbital wall, my maxillary sinus. So that's like my cheek. So it was completely encaved. I had my nasal bone fractured, and then my zygomatic arch was broken as well, with a few other fractures in the face. And it was impinging my main muscle in my eye that controlled the movement of the eye. Also, my nerve in my face was being compressed. And so even right now, I still, from my left side over, is completely numb. I have no feeling in my cheek or my upper lip, and just experienced a severe concussion. And so I was there. I had a team of doctors. I had a plastic surgeon, I had an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and I had an ophthalmologist. And just from the images that they saw, they were, I don't know, really concerned, just because even breaking the bone on both the orbital floor and the lateral orbit, the eye, they said the bone could have punctured the eyeball, or it could have been protruding, like popped out of my socket. And so they were pretty nervous. But when they saw me, and I could move my eye, they were just surprised, and they kept telling me how lucky I was that I could see, for one, and I had control of my eye, and it didn't fall out or puncture the eye. And it was crazy. So I was in the hospital for a while. I did the
How long?
surgery on Friday night. I was in the hospital for like 5 days.
Okay, wow.
I did the surgery, and then that's that. I got out on my birthday, and it's just been kind of a roller coaster. I was experiencing a lot of just spells where I'd be really nauseous and dizzy if I were to do anything. If I were to like shake my head like this, even just the tiniest bit, I would experience just like I said, nausea, dizzy. I had really bad vertigo for a while, so I would wake up and the room would just be spinning, and it would take I don't know, a few moments just to kind of dial down and focus in. And that's kind of that. I've been seeing a lot of specialists, doctors, and I'm just fortunate enough that I have access to some of these physicians and therapists and specialists that I'm friends with, because otherwise there's really no protocol from the UFC, or I wouldn't really know what to do if I didn't have a good team of my own looking after me.
So and this might be a difficult question for you to answer, but how did the Orlando hospital miss all of this? I mean, if it was that severe, do you have any? Did you ever even reach out to them afterwards, or like do you not even care about them at this point?
I personally don't care. I had
Yeah.
even some of the doctors at the Sutter Hospital in Sacramento, and my good friend, that he was on the phone with my wife the night I was in there and seeing what was going on, trying to talk to them. And he was surprised. He was upset because he's like, how could they even possibly miss or, not see any of this?
Yeah.
I think it's like some type of, I don't know. I want to say it was I don't even know. It was just a general hospital. It was definitely a bad experience. Even like I said, I think I told you when I was on before, they loaded me up on, I think it was Dilaudid. They gave me 24 hours worth of pain meds in an hour time frame,
Well,
where my heart rate actually dropped and I stopped breathing twice while I was in the hospital. And they're supposed to give you, the dosage. They gave me a 0.5 milligram. They gave me another 0.5 milligram, and then a full, gram of Dilaudid, and they're supposed to administer that every 4 to 6 hours. And they pumped me full of it in 45 minutes. So my wife and my friend and coaches that were there, Danny Castillo and Joey Rodriguez, they were pissed as well. And I don't remember any of that, which was it was kind of crazy. I went into the second round, fought, and then I woke up the next morning in a hotel room.
wow. And right now, as we speak, you say that you can't feel certain parts of your face. Overall, how are you feeling? I mean, that's obviously a major thing, but um, how would you say your current your current health is?
It's definitely getting better.
Okay.
It's 10 weeks since the fight, 9 weeks since surgery. And I'd say the past like week or so, it's been getting a little better here and there. I'm not getting, I don't have the bad vertigo anymore. I'm not getting super dizzy or nauseous anymore, but I still haven't really been able to do anything. Like I told you, they just cleared me to ride a stationary bike last week. I've done that a few times, but it's so boring.
Yeah.
So one thing that I have been working on with, during my recovery, this has helped a lot with, I've been working with my friend who's, he has his PhD in nutrition. He's quadruple board certified in obesity, emergency, anti-aging, and regenerative medicine. Dr. Bon Trong, he's helping me formulate a supplement, and that's going to help with, recovery, energy. We're also doing, it has anti-inflammatory properties, and it has a brain propriety blend that's going to be just one of a kind, and I'm excited for that. So I've really been working a ton on that, and with him to develop this product. So because there's really nothing out there, even for what I'm experiencing. So not only are we going to do it to help myself, but also I think we can help athletes and just children and elderly individuals as well with this
Are
supplement.
you expected to make a full recovery? Do you feel like based on what they've told you, will you regain feeling in your face?
It's kind of just up in the air. They suppose I will, but I don't know, because the major nerve was compressed, so it can come back. Sometimes people have said it's took about a year, but then also some people it may never come back. But who really knows? I'm just kind of playing it
Wow.
day by day, and looking forward to getting back in there and getting back into practice and eventually back in the octagon.
Oh, that was actually my next question. So your career is not in jeopardy. You will fight again. That is your plan?
Yeah, that is my plan. I'm not going to rush into things too fast, just because I've seen that with some teammates, and we've seen it in the UFC where people have come back too soon
Yeah.
and it's ruined their career. I definitely do not want that to happen to me, but I plan on fighting as long as I can make a full recovery. I would like to get back in there and maybe, hopefully, get one in by the end of the year. But I guess we'll just have to see how I feel.
It's amazing to go through all of this as a result of fighting and still feel, this enthusiastic about fighting. Like if something like that happened to me, regardless of what it is, I am never doing that thing ever again. But you hold no ill feelings toward fighting. You still have the same passion for it. You still want to fight.
definitely. And a lot of people have asked me too, you know, they're like, are you done? Are you hanging it up? And I'm like, no, I've put so much into this, and I feel like I'm all in. You know, I'm too close to where I want to be to just give it all up. You know, and I have other things I can do, and like I've said before, I have a lot of connections in the Sacramento area, and I can go get a good job right now. But this is my passion, and yeah, I'm going to continue to fight as long as I can. And this is definitely the worst injury I've ever suffered. But yeah, there's no quit in me, you know?
I'm assuming you've watched the fight at least once since it happened in February, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How many times have you watched it? Do you know?
Uh, Actually quite a bit, you know, I've seen the clip and stuff,
Yeah.
of myself getting knocked out, um, quite a bit, you know, just cause social media, everyone tagging me and stuff.
Yeah.
And I watch that. I watched the fight a handful of times too.
So my question was, or would be, do you, after watching it as many times as you did, do you still feel confident that it was an illegal knee?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, it was, I think it was definitely illegal, but what can you do? You know, there's really the outcome. Who knows if the outcome would have changed? Um, but yeah, I still believe it was illegal. You know,
And do
because
you,
he threw it in contact.
yep.
That's considered illegal, correct? So it was illegal. Did it change the outcome? Who knows? But I feel like if for some reason, you know, the referee stopped it right away when it was thrown, then I wouldn't have suffered the injury that I did. So that's the
Yeah.
only upsetting thing to me, you know.
Yeah, that was actually my question. You feel like it led to you, if that doesn't, the injuries you sustained happen after that. If it stopped, you're not facing all the stuff that you faced over the past 3 months. You believe that?
If it was stopped right when he threw that knee,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
because I believe it's those two elbows that put me out and broke my
Yep.
face.
You ever hear from Dan Mirgliotta afterwards?
Yeah.
Never. And not in the back, didn't talk to your team or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of. I was just completely out of it. I didn't
Sure.
even know. I asked my coaches, I said, did they take me out on a stretcher? And they said, no, you walked out. I have no,
Wow.
like I said, I remember going into the second round, and then I vaguely remember parts of the night, like at the hospital when the doctors were shaking me wake up when I stopped breathing. I remember that. I remember being in pain. I remember throwing up. And then, like I said, I woke up the next day in a hotel room because my wife and I had an Airbnb, but we had to check out of. So they packed everything up, and then my coaches put me in their room. So I woke up, and it was pitch black. I didn't know where I was. It was
Wow.
just the craziest feeling.
And how about you alluded to the fact that, you're thank God you have friends and you have these connections and you're able to do this with your team. It's always interesting to see, you do fight for the UFC, but you're not an employee of the UFC. Do they check in with you? Do they put you in the right positions? Do they, help get you in front of the right doctors, or do you feel like you're on your own totally here?
I feel like I'm kind of on my own just from my experience. My wife deals with the UFC rep because there's a handful of reps. I think they're assigned. They each have like 100 something fighters. So she's emailing her back and forth as far as my dental work, what's kind of going on with some of the therapists I'm seeing, and just sending them the bills for all these CT scans and emergency room visits and stuff like that. But other than that, I haven't heard from anyone, or I don't know what to do. That's why I'm saying I'm lucky that I have the team and friends I do, because I feel like someone else, if they were in my position, if they weren't, a superstar or whatnot, that there really is no, I don't know, guidance. Or I'm sure if I contacted somebody, or you let my managers know and they contacted someone in the UFC, kind of what was going on, they may lead me in the right direction, but they know what's going on because they're paying the bills when
Yeah.
my wife emails them. So but I honestly don't know. I have no ill will against them either, but it's just frustrating, I guess.
Are they covering everything?
So far, yeah, they've been covering things. There's still some stuff they haven't paid, yet, but I think it's just because they're so busy. Like I said, they have so many fighters that they have to take care of, and I'm sure they'll pay. They're not going to dispute payment. They'll pay for everything, I'm assuming, but there are just some things that aren't paid for yet, but it will
And
be.
no, I don't want to harp on this, but I do think it is important. No text message, how you doing, how you hanging in there, no phone call, no nothing like that.
I haven't got anything now.
Does that disappoint you?
Not really. Maybe a little, but
Yeah.
I know what I signed up for. There's no one that cares about me besides, my wife, my family, my coaches and
Right.
friends. So it really doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's a little upsetting, but it does not bother me. I know what I signed up for. I know kind of how this game is, and would it be nice? Yes, but oh well.
Just curious, you ever talk to Jeremy after the fight?
No, no, I haven't.
How do you feel about him?
Um, Kind of the same thing goes. I've heard some of his interviews, um, but yeah, no, I don't know. It's a fight. Someone's going to go in there, someone's going to lose. You hope it's not you. But even with that, I don't have any ill will against him. If I just wish I would have, kind of pounced on him a little faster when I dropped him in the first, but I was kind of trying to, I was going to fight for 5 rounds. So I was kind of
Yeah.
saving my energy. But if I could go back in time, I would do things a little different, but I can't.
And just, with your overall sort of sanity. I mean, I'm sure there are times where you have gotten depressed over all of this, right? I mean, you can't do what you love, you can't train. I know for athletes, training is therapeutic at times, right? How are you holding up on that end mentally?
I'm doing okay. But there was those times when I wake up and I literally, I can't do anything. I can't go to practice. I can't, and I don't even go into the gym when I'm hurt. Just because I know myself, and when I've had injuries in the past, I'll watch practice. If someone needs help or something, or a drill, I'll be like, oh, I can hop in there, and I'll start going. The next thing I'm going live and I get hurt again. So I don't go in the gym. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Like I said, it has been a little depressing just not being able to work out, not even be able to go to a regular gym, like 24-hour fitness or Cal Fit that I go to, and lift weights or run, just because of the impact would have got me dizzy and nauseous. So I think the thing that has been helping my recovery is working with my doctor, and it's been keeping me busy. And it's kind of like I come to the office and we put in some work and we're doing things like that. So that's helped with my sanity. But it will get better. And I'm hoping to ease back into things in June, give it
Okay.
another 3 weeks or so, and then start to maybe do some type of movement or kind of test out how I'm feeling. Just picking up the intensity a little. Obviously, no impact still. I just got off the phone with the surgeon actually today, because they did another CT scan and they said everything's healing pretty well. It's not fully healed yet, but they're anticipating in another, I said in June, if I can go back into doing some light drills or running and stuff, that they're pretty confident in that. So we'll give it a shot then.
That is certainly promising. I wish you the best, Josh. Thank you very much for coming on and updating us. And I'm sorry that you've been through this. And in hindsight, I really appreciate you coming on that Monday. I get I probably reached out to you when you weren't in the best state, but the fact that you came on and spoke as eloquently as you did, and now that you're available is very much appreciated. So I wish you the best, and please keep us posted on your progress. It's one thing about this sport that sometimes bugs me is that, like, there's so many events that these stories kind of get lost because you just kind of move on to the next one, as opposed to if we're dealing with a team sport and there's only like 12, 15 guys on the team, you can kind of keep tabs on everyone. But I feel like sometimes as journalists we do a poor job of keeping tabs because there's just so much going on. So that's on me. But I'm happy to have you back on, and hopefully the worst is behind you and that you can continue to get better.
Well, thanks again for checking in. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem, Josh. All the best to you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. You have a good one.